Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with another one. What I'm looking at is a beer from Medusa Brewing Company. They are originally out of Hudson, Mass, and this bottle is a couple years old. Um, I've actually been to the brewery in Hudson, Massachusetts, and this says brewed and packaged by Medusa Brewing Company in Hudson, Massachusetts. But some of their newer cans that I've had over the last 6 months to a year say that they're out of Framingham, Massachusetts, which they may brew their beer out of Framingham, Massachusetts, and even have a second location. But I couldn't find another location, so I don't know if they maybe Jack's Abbey contract brew some of their stuff. I'm not really sure, but they still do have a physical location in Hudson, Massachusetts, which is the original location, which is where this bottle was produced. So this is called Hither and Yon. It is a Flanders brown ale. It is from their barrel series, and it is 6.3% alcohol by volume. This is a 500 milliliter bottle, so 16.9 fluid ounces. The malt that they use in this beer is Pilsner, Munich, Crystal, and wheat. The hops are German Magnum. And for the yeast, we've got American Ale, we've got Brettanomyces, Lactobacillus, and Pediococcus. It's conditioned 14 months in red wine barrels. Would you give the flavor profile as well? Usually I wouldn't read it, but it's only a few words here, so we'll go for it. It says toast, plum, subtle caramel, red wine, and oak. I wish I could find a specific date, or I wish it at least had the year on here, but I know this has got some age to it. The label is like just falling apart on the back here. I don't see anything though that indicates anything as far as a date. I mean, it's been aging for 14 months in red wine barrels, plus you figure this has been sitting on the shelf for a couple years at least, since before they updated their labels to include Framingham as a location for this brewery. So let's get into it. I do love Flanders ales. Monk's Cafe comes to mind. It was one of the first, it was a Flanders Red, and one of the first sour beers that I had. Absolutely an incredible beer. Still one of my favorites in the style to this day. There's your pour. It's a nice kind of brown color, some ruby hues coming through when you hold it up to the light. It looks much darker on camera than it actually is. So let's see. Nice head. About a finger's worth of a kind of khaki colored head there. Looks pretty creamy as well. Yeah, definitely funky. A little bit of that wine barrel coming through. Some oak, wine barrel type notes. Maybe a touch of dark fruit. But it's got that funky saison type barnyardy farmhouse ale, like that funky, like sour fruit type note. It's hard to really describe, but once you've had beers like this, you just know. I mean, it's a very distinct aroma. Yeah, a touch of caramel as well. They mentioned caramel on the label. Getting a touch of that, but the sour component on the nose, that funkiness, kind of takes over the aroma a little bit. It smells absolutely delightful, though. You definitely pick up the oak and the barrel. I wouldn't necessarily say red wine barrel because that funkiness, it's hard to really decipher. Um, but it is woody, for sure. It's woody, it's funky, it's fruity, sour. It smells delightful. I'm salivating, so without further ado, let's get into this brew. Cheers, guys. Whew. Yes, that is nice. Slightly toasted malt, little caramel. The oak, the woodiness throughout is really impressive. Some dark fruit in there. but that farmhouse saison funky yeast thing going on is really really nice. I love beers like this. I really do. It's not really a full on sour, but it's funky, and I feel like you either love these beers or you hate them. I happen to love them, and this one has been sitting on the shelf for a while. I've actually seen this beer sitting on the shelf for probably at least a year. I just haven't bought. I haven't pulled the trigger until now. I think probably because there have been 2 or 3 bottles on the shelves and they were down to the last one, so I was just like, yeah, I gotta try it. And I've had some other stuff from Medusa that I really really enjoyed, and the barrel series with this style Flanders Brown Ale, I couldn't pass it up this time. Um, 14 months aged in red wine barrels is pretty impressive too. I think you get a lot of character from that as well. It's really just a nice beer. It's malty, it's tart, it's fruity, it's woody, it's slightly roasty toasty, that caramel. Mm, this is really good. Really, really enjoyable. The body's medium, carbonation is high medium. The finish is crisp, clean, refreshing. It almost has like a drying effect, like a champagne type effervescence to it. And as you swallow it down, it really dries out the palate. It's a wonderful beer. If you like Flanders style beers, if you like farmhouse ales, saisons, sour ales, I think you'll probably like this. Uh, but it's funky. If you don't like the farmhouse kind of feel, the barnyardy saison funkalicious, you're probably not going to like this. But I think for the style, I think for what it is, I think that the barrel aging has done this beer's wonders. The lactobacillus as well, you get a little bit of that souring effect from the lactobacillus. I think this is a 96 out of 100. I think it's a solid A. I know I'm blabbing a lot in this review, but it's really, there's a lot to be said about this beer. It's really really nice. So Medusa Brewing out of Hudson, Massachusetts, also Framingham, Massachusetts. The Hither and Yon Flanders Brown Ale from their barrel series. Buy it, try it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you can get this beer in your area, it's definitely worth a shot. It was $10 for this bottle. Not a bad deal for a 14-month aged beer. That's probably got a few more years aging on the shelf as well. So that'll do it for this beer review, guys. 96 out of 100 for Hither and Yon from Medusa Brewing Company. Buy it, try it. Let me know what you think. And we'll see you on the next one. Almost the new year, so Happy New Year to everybody out there. Looking forward to 2025. May it bring everybody lots of happiness and money and friendship and all that good crap. All right. Cheers.